We will say good morning. Welcome to RoatanWeather.org's tropical update for Friday, October 7th, 2022. It's about 7:30 now. Wanted to point out what happened last night before we really start talking about potential tropical storm Julia or Julia, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Last night, these storms right here brought an inch to an inch and a quarter of rain to the west side of the island. East side got a little less, tenth to a quarter of an inch. You can see there's some clear skies behind this weather, so we should have some clear skies this morning. But also, there's a little storm moving towards Guanaja. So we do have a chance of rain today, but not an all day rain, so that's good news for us. Get a look at our storm. It's over on what I have learned today is called the Guajira Peninsula of northeastern Colombia. And you can see we got some good spin and a pretty strong looking storm here. As this moves out to sea later this morning, it will strengthen a bit and will probably be named Tropical Storm Julia. You see down here, there's a town called Rio Hacha, so I decided to pull up and see what the weather is like there. Not bad when it comes to wind right now, but nearly 3.25 inches of rain between midnight and 7:30 a.m. So quite a bit of rain, and that is a concern for us as we go forward with this storm. This is the cone of uncertainty, they call it, because they're uncertain exactly where it'll go. But within this cone is the highest probabilities. You see them saying it'll be a named storm later today. There are already hurricane watches for the Colombian islands off the coast of Nicaragua, and then expected to make landfall Sunday towards noon, maybe a little earlier, and then weaken. Now, one thing I want to say about hurricanes as they hit land is when they're out to sea, they're tight and strong, relatively speaking. When they hit land, they weaken, but they also flatten out and broaden. And so sometimes the energy can go to the edges. And that's something we're going to look out for with this storm. This is the GFS model prediction. As we come into Saturday morning, we can see it starting to spin up and then making landfall. This is 6 a.m. Sunday, his prediction, as a high-end Category 1 storm. But I want to point out, you can see these yellows and reds for heavier rain pretty much over us. This is 6 p.m. on Sunday. So in that period of noon into afternoon on Sunday is when we might expect some of the heaviest rains, some torrential rains from this storm. So that is something to watch out for. Earliest reasonable arrival time for tropical storm force winds, this shows is Sunday morning, fairly early. We're kind of in the borderline. If it goes as predicted, we're in the borderline for tropical storm force winds. If it jogs a little north, it's going to be worse for us. And if it strengthens more than predicted, it'll also be worse for us. Let's talk about predicted rainfall first, though. This is the European model. And you see in that Sunday afternoon time period, it really lights up for us. By about noon Monday, the storm should be mostly over, but it's leaving behind, it shows here, in the 6-inch range for us. Heavier rains towards San Pedro Sula, really a flooding concern there, maybe a little less over the interior of the country, but still quite a bit of rain. And this is the U.S. model, also lighting up on Sunday afternoon with rain. Rain totals, this is the Euro, 6 inches for us, and that's the period starting now. So maybe an inch or two of this comes before the storm arrives. So a total through the whole storm, and the GFS is a little kinder to us with 5 inches of rain. Let's talk about wind. We're going to go Saturday night into Sunday morning. We're going to start seeing these winds approach, and I'm putting it in motion. This is the Euro model. This is the GFS model. You'll see the GFS brings a little closer to us, so a little stronger wind. So let's stop it here on Sunday afternoon. Towards Utila, you can see it's picking up 42 mile an hour winds with gusts to 55. Here, right now, the prediction is for winds, sustained winds around 35 miles an hour. Remember, 39 to 40 is tropical storm force, gusts to 45. So, with wet ground, fallen trees can be a problem at that speed, and definitely power outages. So, something to be prepared for. Let's talk about seas. Many of us are worried about what the seas will do. Sunday, and we can put our cursor here. We're seeing 7-foot seas coming in on Guanaja, similar on the island. This is a proprietary model for predict wind, and you see they have a little bit stronger seas getting towards 12 feet, I think, at some point over towards Guanaja, and about 10 feet for the east side of the island. So Sunday and Monday are not days you want to be on the sea. We will keep you informed as we get better ideas as to how this goes during the day. I want to thank all our Patreons. We've gotten quite a bit of support over the last few days. Thank you very much. That helps us pay for our weather subscriptions. Also, buy me a coffee. So this is in Canadian dollars, whereas Patreon's in US dollars. A couple of you have bought me coffees, so I definitely appreciate that. Thanks, and we'll keep in